Over the past few years, there's been a growing number of people who are recreating the Hebrew alphabet and claiming that the Hebrew pronunciations used today is not Hebrew, but Assyrian, and each ancient Hebrew letter was a syllable. A, ba, ga, da, ha, etc.
Okay, the first letter of the Paleo-Hebrew alphabet is A. Second letter is Ba. The third letter is Da. The fourth letter is Da.
Bayath. I'm going to write it down here for you to see it. Ba. Bayath.
We have the Taza, the next character, Taza, and there's Tazad, to get understanding. Tazad, trail, journey, chase, desire, righteous, or harvest.
Stone. In Shalom Vakasat Laha Bakyar with Shalom, in Hebrew is peace. Wa is and. Kasad is mercy.
Yah. Yah is for Yasharala.
Malak wath ka. Malak wath ka. Your kingdom. Malak wath is kingdom, because the word malak is king. Alright, here it goes. Shemai Yasha Allah Yahweh Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Akkad. Alright.
When you look at the Paleo-Hebrew, when it was written, you didn't see no vowel points. When you look at the Assyrian, alright, when the so-called Jews use, you'll see different vowel points and all that crap. Alright? You don't need that. All you need to know is how to pronounce each character. Alright? And all Hebrew words are formed from these letters of the alphabet. And nothing outside of that.
They call this alphabet the Lashawan Kadash, which is their pronunciation of the Hebrew phrase Lashon Kodesh, meaning holy tongue or holy language. To illustrate their pronunciation of the Lashawan Kadash, let's look at Genesis 1 verse 1. According to the Masoretic Hebrew text, this verse is pronounced Bereshit bara Elohim et hashemayim ve'et haaretz. But according to this group, the original pronunciation was Bara Shayat Bara Allah Hayam At Hashamayam Vat Harat. There are several problems with this recreation of the alphabet. If you attempted to speak this kind of Hebrew to someone who knows Hebrew, you would be completely unintelligible and probably mocked for your pronunciation. Those who are making this claim have no evidence to back it up. The evidence from ancient texts suggests that the pronunciation of the Masoretic text is correct, or at least more correct than this new theory of pronunciation. Let's take the name Israel as an example. In Hebrew, this word is pronounced Yisrael, but they believe that it was originally pronounced Yasharallah. While there is no evidence to support this new style of pronunciation, there is evidence to refute it. Here is the name Israel from the Masoretic Hebrew Bible, which dates to about 1000 AD. The first letter is a yod with a Y sound. This is the vowel pointing for the letter I. This is the letter sin, identified by the dot on the left of the letter, and is pronounced with an S sound, as opposed to the letter shin with an SH sound when the dot is on the right side. This is the vowel shva, which is silent. Here is the letter resh, which is an R sound. Here is the vowel kamatz, representing the ah vowel. This is the letter aleph, which is silent. And this is the vowel tsere, representing the vowel pronunciation a. And lastly, the letter lamed with an L sound. However, these vowel pointings were created by the Masoretes 1,000 years ago. And prior to this is how this name would appear. Now, those who teach the Lashawan Kadash are making the claim that this would be pronounced Yasharala. So how do we know if this was originally pronounced Yisrael or Yasharala? I can't tell you how it was pronounced 3,000 years ago, but I can tell you how it was pronounced 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago, the Jews translated the Hebrew Bible into Greek. Now, this Greek translation of the Bible is called the Septuagint. But when it came to names, the translators transliterated the names into Greek, which will help us to learn how Hebrew was pronounced 2,000 years ago. In the Greek Septuagint, the name Yisrael was written like this and is pronounced Israel. It is not Yasharala. Nowhere in any ancient document do we find evidence supporting the Lashawan Kadash, but we find ample proof supporting the pronunciations found in the 1,000-year-old Masoretic Hebrew Bible. I am of the opinion that those who are using this style of Hebrew pronunciation are doing so in order to not to have to learn or worry about the rules of pronunciation. They are making a shortcut to prevent themselves from having to learn how to pronounce Hebrew words correctly.